It doesn't matter where the finish line is. What matters is I get there, having gone 300 kilometers an hour. It doesn't matter whether anyone thinks I did good or not. What matters is I know myself. What matters is I risk it against fear on the bet that pushing one better corner, pulling a better turn, will lead to a better me. Every step is that kind of deal. Every turn matters. How you enter matters. How you exit matters. Same with life. People will tell you it doesn't matter, and then defend it as a position of philosophy, as if doing so didn't invalidate the original claim. What I'm saying is, people can't define life's value, because life is a sacred need for us all to discover who we really are. So, how I've been challenging myself is to drive the Nordschleife circuit of the Nürburgring track in Forza Motorsport. I believe, because the Nordschleife is the ultimate test of your skills as a driver, that if you're able to race it in the rain in under 10 minutes at night, then you're a good driver. Why does that matter? There's that philosophy rearing its head again, asking, why? Why are you doing this when it is something incredibly difficult? Pairing under 10 minutes on a lap of the Nordschleife in the rain at night is one of the most difficult parameters for a simulation race. Why do this? Because I am driven to. That's not a pun, or I intentionally invoke the word because I want to master this one track. I don't want to be the master of Le Mans or the wizard of Fujimi Kaido. I just want to be an expert on the Nordschleife, on the basis that perfecting the Nordschleife would be like perfecting a part of life into master skill. When I began, I had no idea what I was doing. I could barely take a corner without spinning or fishtailing. I drifted like an old lady, and I was terrified to break 250 on a straightaway. In other words, I was afraid. I began scared, but as I got used to it, to the fear, I realized that fear is telling you you don't know what you're doing, literally. Fear is your body's way of saying, I don't know what to do with the next 3 seconds in front of us. And it's kind of begging your mind to figure it out. Because when you're going 200 kilometers an hour in the rain at night, you have about 3 seconds of actionable time to control any situation unraveling at that speed. Anything at 250, you are no longer reacting to what is happening. You're anticipating and preemptively acting on what is going to happen. Because at such speed, trying to react to what is happening will lead to a crash. Because your inputs will be too slow to compensate for the lag delay between your having acted and the action occurring. So at speeds of 200 to 250 and above, when you are that fast, you are no longer reacting. You are preemptively deciding on what must happen before it needs to happen, in order for it to happen on time. Wild stuff. Living at that speed is like a totally different way of thinking, because your brain can't worry about what was happening, or even about what is happening. The only thing you can focus on is what will happen, and what you will do in that time. Because you arrive so much faster where you're going than you think you're going to when you're flying at 250 kilometers an hour. In pristine daytime conditions, I can clock in 7:53 on the Nordschleife. At night, that time extends by a full 30 seconds in the rain into 8:23, where my time when I first started was 10 minutes and 28 seconds. Meaning I shaved 2 minutes and 5 seconds off my time in 2 days of practice. So, let's say we ask why we would want to be able to race the Nordschleife circuit in the rain at night in under 8 minutes and 30 seconds. It isn't to arrive at the finish line. As I said, that doesn't matter. What matters is every turn you took and how fast you took them too. Because the you of yesterday, who would not dare take the Bergwerk turn over 165 kilometers an hour, is dead. And the you who considers 165 for the baseline speed of that turn is the same you who will conquer today. That, I promise you. That person who believes they can take a 165 hair-point turn is the same person who believes you can do anything. The old me thought I could never do this, and was scared to try lest I have been proven wrong, that being the real source of the fear. The fear is not, I will fail. The fear is, I may exceed my own hope. That is far profounder a source, because it's not based on a shame of having been defeated in the eyes of others. It's a fear of having excelled in the eyes of ourselves. That's why you race. No matter what anyone says, or how pointless it might feel when you do fail, because you know those bumps and scrapes are there to remind you how free it feels to fly without a scratch. That's what matters. That you found the line in the race, or life, that you glide through, turning asphalt into butter and tires into hot knives. Some people just live life, never knowing what it'll feel like to take on the fear. So they let it win. You can't do that. You can't let yourself do that. You have to fight, and wildly, against that fear trying to tell you that you can't push the Dottinger Hoher past 360. Because for maybe 1 or 2 seconds, you'll see that speedometer hit 375. And that's a wild feeling, being 50 kilometers slower than a plane. I don't know what your Nordschleife is. Maybe for you, it's being super good at chess, or drawing, or writing, or singing. Whatever it is, I just hope you challenge yourself to excel. Forget about adulations, or praise, or even attention. Just do it for the love of defeating the fear, and pushing yourself to shave those precious seconds off your top time. Scoring is more than winning in life. It's winning a better you in your own eyes. That's worth flying down a straightaway at 300 kilometers an hour. And it's like I said, it doesn't matter where the finish line is. What matters is that I went 300 kilometers an hour to get there. That's what matters, because I always knew where I was going to anyway. My destination was a freer me, one without the chains of fear holding me down and keeping me back from achieving. I believe I can do this now. I can live life, because I have dreams and I know how to chase them. You chase a dream how you chase a better time. Without fear, in the bravery of hope, you will meet a better you at the ending.